Hello and welcome to a mini episode of Predictocast, the podcast where we predict the plot of a movie we know nothing about. Or at least we did. I'm Josh, and with me as always is Skinner. Hi, Skinner.
Hey, Josh. God, you're going to miss that script, aren't you? You've memorized so well.
Yeah, we'll pull back the curtain here just a little bit. We've done this show for 5 years, and pretty much every time I've had to look up and read the intro off of a note that I have. I can never remember it.
I love it when you sometimes try not to. Often when we have a guest on, because you aren't as set up, and then like within 3 words you're like, God damn it, I have to go get the script.
Yeah. It's a curse. I wrote the thing. I can't remember it. It's been 5 years. We've changed it a couple times, but I still can't remember it ever. But the good thing, I won't have to worry about it anymore.
You're free.
So this is kind of a weird one, right? Like this is a weird episode for us. This is a mini episode, but we're not setting up a film for next time. I think we've alluded to it through some of the previous episodes that we've done over the last month or so. And I think it's been pretty clear what we've been talking about if you've been listening to the show. But basically, and we didn't do a big fanfare over it, last week's episode on Borrowed Hearts with our good friend Megan Sunday was pretty much the last episode of Predictocast, at least for the foreseeable future.
Did we not do a big fanfare over it because we didn't record it in order, or am I remembering things wrong?
No, I think we just chose not to do it.
That sounds classier when you say that way.
Yeah, we did our big. I mean, it's kind of silly.
We don't always record in order of release, by the way, like most podcasts.
No, it was kind of silly because we did our big, like when we hit our 100th movie, and we kind of, at the end of season 4, and we did this big thing, and we did a movie that was kind of thematically tied to the first movie we ever did on the podcast, and that would have been a perfect place to wrap up the show completely there. But we decided, no, we're going to come back because we said we would. And I think that during that hiatus that we had from Predictocast, when we started doing Center of Weirdness more regularly, is we realized that we actually liked doing that. We liked doing TV shows. We liked kind of talking about that kind of thing. And I think that that's something that we want to focus on going forward. So like, if you like listening to us, Josh and Skinner, if you like hearing our voices talk about media, that's going to continue. Like, we are going to continue podcasting, but we are going to change the show into Center of Weirdness. We like that show. We think that we know that it started as an Erie, Indiana show, but we think that it has legs to cover lots of other weird things, which we tried to do this year. We did some Goosebumps episodes. We did some Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. We did an episode on Noelle, which is very weird. And we think that show has a broad enough kind of umbrella that we could cover a lot of random things that we just want to talk about because we think that they're weird or silly or whatever. And it doesn't sort of pigeonhole us into necessarily having to find stuff that we don't, know anything about movie wise. And a big thing was that we want to obviously have more people on the show. And we think that Center of Weirdness will be a way for us to do that much easier. As you maybe noticed, we've had guests on the last 4 episodes of Predictocast because we jettisoned the prediction format and we didn't feel like it was an inconvenience to make them do 2 separate episodes. And I think that Center of Weirdness will allow us to have even more people on, and they can bring us their weird thing, like their weird thing that they're passionate about, and they can tell us about it and we can watch it together and talk about it together. And like, I'm excited for that possibility.
Yeah, if you listen to the show, you probably have heard of us like go through the IMDb's, like it's a bit we do, and we get very excited about what the fuck was this TV show?
Yes,
that no one remembers it, and like that, like yeah, the show was kind of named after Erie, Indiana, but like that's the kind of show we want to do. Just like stuff that has it's a worm in some people's heads, but in general, it's kind of slipped out of the popular consciousness. But like we have some friends, and we have the podcasting friends we have. They all have movie podcasts, so they can do movies on their own. But two, they're all this kind of people who remember shows that you don't and have a passion for it. And that's kind of what I would like to bring into the show. And it's less watching time.
Yeah, two, I mean that's a big thing. We have a lot of stuff going on, and it would be nice to not have to carve out time to watch what might be a shitty movie. But
and I think I find that we do a better. The shows are better. What the energy on Center of Weirdness has been better as far as like continuity and just jokes building, because we can watch this show, a 22-minute episode together.
Sure.
Generally right before we record off it. And like we can make up bits as we go, going into the show, and we can't, it's too hard to sit down for a 2.5 hour movie together.
Yeah.
So we both have to fit it into our schedules and steal time from other things.
We're in different time zones, and like it's a difficult thing. And also, I think we just had fun doing the Center of Weirdness that we did earlier in the year. And it's not that we didn't have fun doing predictocast, but I think that we had taken it about as far as we could with the current setup.
When I look back at it, it is almost the natural progression for it, because we have the most obscure movie catalog of any podcast that I could think of. Like, oh, we're going to do shows that no one's heard of. That's great. That has no cultural cachet, and it'd be hard to draw people. But that's what we've been doing from the very beginning. But I'm super excited to record with Megan and make Josh watch Lex the Dark Zone. Space Newfies.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I mean, I've been
hinting at that for fucking 4 years?
I mean, it might be difficult to find some of these things, so it'll be kind of a varying thing. We'll probably do more Are You Afraid of the Darks? We'll probably do more Goosebumps, because those are fun and they're very sort of simple, and they fit kind of within the overall theme. But like, I'm looking forward to sort of branching out from that kind of stuff, doing Halloween themed shows for a lot of different sitcoms. Those will be fun. On our Borrowed Hearts mini episode, we found that Eric McCormick was a guest star or something on a show called The Hat Squad about some kid cops or something. It's like, well, I got to watch that because that's weird. We've been wanting,
like, and if anyone has a show that they like we won't generally be covering a full run of a show like we did at Erie, Indiana, unless something really grabs us and it's really short. It's a very early canceled show. Never promised anything, but like, if you guys have something like that you can think of that you're like, oh, here's a show that no one ever talks about that I remember as a kid or teenager or even a young adult, let us know, because there's so much TV that ends up going nowhere. And so much of it actually is available these days to find. So like, I would love to have recommendations on that.
For sure.
For sure. Like, because I want guests to bring stuff, but also like, I want to be surprised, but like, not surprised, like the predictocast surprise, but like something that's just 22 minutes of stupidity or just shockingly good or just some shocking way. Like that's what I love about Erie, Indiana, is that because it's made by Joe Dante and all these like really talented people, but it's also his kid's show. It can go from shockingly bad to shockingly good minute to minute.
Sure.
And that is always fun. There's always, when you find the seeds of what works, and then you see the plants that grow that just didn't form right. Well, that's what I love.
And doing the show that we've done, we've come across a lot of random things. We're like, oh man, I want to know what that's about. Like Sue Thomas, FBI, show that came up about the deaf woman who reads lips and joins the FBI. Like, I want to know what that show's about. Like,
and we're not doing like covering the show. We can go through the the episode list, not having to worry about spoiling ourselves, and pick out the description of the episode that sounds the absolute wackiest.
Yeah, we got to do an episode of The Littlest Hobo because that
we
sounds
absolutely
weird.
do. I'm sure there's a weird, like, I feel like at least 3 times a year I have to do a Canadian corner with you. And that's like Littlest Hobo, that's Lex, and that's like Beachcombers, Danger Bay.
Oh yeah.
So like stuff. There's all kinds of ones that were on the CBC in the 90s that were just, like I said, slipped from like everyone on the show became a character actor on American television, but like on these 90s CBC shows, but like also no one remembers the show that got them the jobs in the first place. So that'll be fun to really hit up. And just like I said, there's so many possibilities. It's so much easier to bring in people. Our podcasting friends will be passionate about certain things that will be unexpected.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm very excited about, is just like getting people to bring their own sort of weird thing to us. And it doesn't necessarily have to be even a show. It could be like a song, or it could be a weird book that they tell us about. Like I'm open to, broadening what it is that we cover, so it's not just TV. But obviously that'll be kind of our sort of starting place, and
I don't throw away the idea that we could do a movie if something leads to something,
sure.
like, oh, we have to do this movie because we did X plus Y and this equals Z now, and Z is the movie.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally like, okay, we can pull that off, but like you said, this frees up the format, frees up us, and like it is a natural extension of what we've been doing, which is finding the stuff that is just out there but culturally lost and just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many shows about trucks.
Yes, that I can't remember exactly what the name of that thing was, but it was like we talked about it on a recent episode.
6 Wheels of Justice or something?
Yeah, it's 18 Wheels of Justice.
18 Wheels of Justice.
Yeah.
That's six. That's many times better.
Yeah, 6 Wheels of Justice is just it's not
it's two tricycles fighting each other.
Yeah, 18 Wheels of Justice with G. Gordon Liddy, the criminal. Like I want to know what that is. Like how did that show, also with Billy D. Williams. So I think that's maybe when that came up. So absolutely.
I want to figure out Billy December Williams.
Yeah, figure out how to watch that. Like there's just a wild number of things out there that we could have a lot of fun with. And I know that this could be disappointing to folks who've stuck with us for a while. I hope not. I hope that you'll.
I hope at this point the draw to a degree is us talking about stuff and our friends talking about stuff rather than the content, because we don't do anything consistently.
Sure. Yeah. I'm hoping that you'll stick with us just because you like hearing us, and you'll be happy that we are enjoying what we're covering. Who's to say? Who's to say if this will be successful? Who's to say if we won't change our mind at the end of next year and do something different? I think
you're probably tired of hearing the speech at the end of every year, but like we do like to take the time at the end of December to figure out what can keep the show going.
Yeah, because we
mentally for us.
Yeah, we like recording this show together. We like talking to each other. We like doing fun things, but we also don't want to get pigeonholed in after a certain point. It's like, all right, well, we've done this we've done predictocast for 5 years, and along the way we found some other things that we kind of enjoyed, and we did some amazing episodes that are really funny and that will stay in the feed, obviously. And
we made up a movie.
Yeah, we did. We made up a movie.
We did an entire episode on a movie that does not exist. Yeah,
and so I think that we've had a lot of fun on this show, and we've done some really fun stuff, and really just I loved doing it, but also I want to keep it fresh and do something a little different, and really kind of just keep experimenting and exploring what we can do, in this space, I guess.
I hope there's one person right now who's just going, wait a second, who like started listening like the last like 2 or 3 years. It's like, wait a second, which one was fake?
Well, you can't tell you, but I'm sure you can figure it out.
I'm pretty sure you can, unless you're God bless you're not a very good puzzle solver.
Yeah. I mean, who's to say? But yeah, like I just, I think this is not, not the end. Obviously, we are still going to be here. We're still going to be doing stuff. We'll take a couple weeks off. We'll enjoy the rest of the holidays. Probably come back sometime in January. Don't know exactly, when yet, but the feed will stay the same. It'll just probably change names, so you shouldn't need to refresh anything, and we'll keep all the old predictocast stuff there. So if you ever want to go back and listen to it, it's going to be available to you. We don't want to lose the folks that have already subscribed and everything. So we're not going to make you find a new feed anywhere, but it'll be a nice little change for us, and it'll be something a little different. I hope that's good.
I look back at our catalog and I'm like, well, we fucking recorded on The Rocketeer, which is all I ever really wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, we've covered some great stuff. Like,
we're going to cover, if we do this, in which we 99% we will. We're going to cover an episode of the Hellraiser TV show.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because that will come out at some point, and we'll definitely have to do an episode of that on that show, because I mean, hell, we could still cover another Hellraiser movie if we wanted to, because
it's kind of our thing for
weird.
Whatever reason.
Yeah. It's weird. I did find a TV show that I definitely want to cover, only because it will piss you off because it'll remind you of something you hate.
Is it Allegiant, the TV show?
No, it's a TV show called Point Man, and it stars Jack Scalia, the villain from Mel.
I fucking hate Mel.
Jack Scalia was also in oh God, what was the one we just did with Billy D. Williams?
We did a lot of Billy D. Williams.
City of Fear or Fear City?
Fear City. Which one was he? Is he Fear City or City of Fear?
It's one of those. whichever one Billy D. Williams in, he's in that one. It's Fear City. Yeah, Fear City.
Fear City.
Good movie, good episode. But yeah, so I definitely want to watch Point Man. It looks like he's a priest, I think, in this. He's yeah, okay. Connie Harper is living the good life as the owner of Spanish Pete's, a beach resort. Occasionally, his services as bodyguard are called upon by people who have nowhere else to run. Sounds great.
Spanish Pete?
Yes, it's a beach resort. And he looks ridiculous. But there's a shot of him in one of the ads where he is wearing a priest collar. So I don't know. And the ad says church versus state. So
I do want like a spat of shows where someone's secretly an angel besides Touched by an Angel.
We're definitely doing Touched by an Angel with Megan, because she said there's a particularly weird one that is potentially influenced by the Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh, that's right. We mentioned that on air.
And yeah.
And there's Highway to Heaven. Is the main one everyone would think of, but there's got to be more.
Yeah, I would be down to do those shows, because those are also shows that I don't know anything about. So I think the premises of them are weird enough. So it would be fun to cover those, like, just because, like, I'm fine with it not totally being like a horror show or like a supernatural show. Like, yeah, that's how it started, but we can kind of. It's a malleable format, so we can kind of have fun with it.
The idea is like we'll find the weirdest episodes of shows that, at least through the description, sound like why did they make this sort of thing. My
God, we really do have to delve into Jack Scalia's filmography, because he was also in a show called Tequila and Bonetti. And it's Nick Bonetti as a cop from New York who accidentally shot a 12-year-old girl. His department felt that it would be best that he leave New York until all the excitement dies down. So he is sent to California. And as far as he's concerned, it's like being sent to another planet. And as far as the locals are concerned, he is an outsider. He is teamed with a dog named Tequila, who is not exactly Rin Tin Tin, but they try to work as best they can.
I mean, that we have to do that. It has a dog.
I wonder if they're like the problem is that all these great shows might be impossible to find online. It does look like there's an episode of Point Man available out there somewhere. Looks like there could be one out there. I wish that there is. I really hope that there's a Tequila and Bonetti Why is his name Bonetti?
I don't know. I mean, it's a play on tequila and bones.
Yes, but why is the dog not Bonetti?
Why would you name your dog Bonetti?
Because he likes bones.
Oh, well, we're going to find out, most likely, unless we forget. We should start. Here's a problem. We haven't written down everything we've said about
No,
TV
we have
shows.
not. We do not know.
We need to start a Google Doc for that.
We absolutely should. Who knows what we'll do? Who knows how this will all go? We hope that you will stick with us.
And yes, we will cover an episode of Nightman.
Yes, we will.
Because Josh gave me the full season DVD set.
Yeah, we will definitely cover an episode of Nightman for sure. There will be some probably that we go back to pretty frequently. Like I feel like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark will show up quite a bit because those are sort of self-contained stories. So we can do an episode that will be different from what we've done before. Some of the more serialized shows, those might be one and done depending on what we can find. But give us your ideas if you have a particularly weird TV show or TV special or something like that you would like to hear us talk about. Like definitely reach out on Twitter. We'll still be predictocast for now. We might be changing that up soon, but you'll still be able to find us for a little bit longer. So yeah, reach out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Any feed pre that we can get on this show be greatly appreciated. He said, I will think about setting up a Google Doc to write down things that people tell us.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll consider it. I have an app on my phone. I could do it, but everything in life is fleeting. Why look back? Why did we do? I still can't believe we did it. We did a month of episodes that were just basically based on. We found a movie called Fear City and one called City of Fear.
Yeah, I mean, we did that. We were, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But yeah, I guess that'll do it for this sort of weird rambling mini episode, the final one, at least for now. We will be back in January at some point with the first sort of new episode for 2022 of Center of Weirdness. And we hope that you will join us then. But I guess for the last time for a predictocast mini episode, I've been Josh.
I've been Skinner.
And we predict you'll join us on Center of Weirdness.
Or cow, as we call it to each other.
That's right.
Because I'm not going to type that out every time.
We'll introduce every episode with moo.
We'll call our fans the herd.
We'll call our fans the milkers.
Oh, no. My poor nipples.
If you like the show, subscribe, rate, and review us over at Apple Podcasts. We're on Twitter and Instagram at predictocast, and you can find our entire back catalog at predictocast.com. Our theme music is by Kyle Sledge. Find more of his work at soundcloud.com/geistmusic. As always, thanks for listening.